how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy. It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. I'm like forgetting how the buttons work. I'm like, wait, does this button do that? Does this do that? What's going on? I'm not sure. Either way, happy to have you guys here with me tonight on the stream. I'm a hot mess. I'm a hot mess. This is your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. I said we sit back and relax. We sit back and relax. And hopefully by now you've poured yourself a little bit of,
more specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
as we cruise into the weekend. Like I said, I am a hot mess express today, but that's okay. It's all right. We're gonna get through it. Of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, or smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug. Yo, shit. I was like simultaneously reading an email that I thought was like a real email, but spam. The spam, as always. But yeah, for tonight's show, we're probably going to talk a little bit about Comic-Con, talk some toy news, talk about movie news, I guess. I don't know. You guys tell me. But of course, without further ado, the man, the myth. Wrong button again. The hot mess.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
It's me.
Huh? What? Huh?
I said it's me. Which way turn it? This way? That way. There you go. Like I said, happy to have you guys here with me tonight on the stream. I'm like still mentally trying to like catch up to the week. I feel like I'm not even on the right day. I feel like it's not the right time. I just a mess, just an absolute mess. But being here with you guys, as always, is a pleasure. Never a chore. So one more time as we head into the weekend.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
We ride on. We ride on. Riders of the storm. That is who we are. It's funny. I was actually thinking, there's like the Subway wrestling series that they have online. Like, there's like the Macho Man guy who we're friends with. Like they do now they have actually wrestlers showing up for this thing, which is crazy. But I was thinking back to when we were doing that as kids in high school. And my move was like the wind kicks, I called it. And I would like grab onto the either rail on top of the chairs. We used to wrestle on the bus and the train. The move applied both places. Grab the rails and then pull myself up and like kick at the person. And it's because there's a character called Wind Kicks in a movie called Storm Riders, which was absolute trash. That movie Storm Riders was absolute trash. But I still loved it. Because at the time, it was the closest thing to like a live action Dragon Ball Z that I would ever get. And they had a sequel movie too. Maybe we'll look it up today. Before we start reading all the lovely chats over here, let's get the shameless plugs out the way. And of course, we have nerdaffiliated.com, your one-stop shop for all things nerd affiliated, whether you want to catch the latest Daily Planet, latest live show, join the Nerd Foundation, keep us going at 99 cents a month. You can do all of that there. And of course, if you do want to listen to the podcast only, as opposed to watching it on YouTube, there's a play menu. I'm trying to think. What was it? Was it Winamp? Like Winamp back in the day? Real Player. There's like a Real Player playlist thing here. So you can always use that. And then, of course, as you scroll down, you can click on this picture of this sexual Tyrannosaurus here and head over, pick yourself up some sweet, sweet merch. Although yours won't be as cool as mine and come with cat hair, you can still get some sweet, sweet merch over at nerdaffiliated.com. Name that movie, Sexual Tyrannosaurus. Actually, I might have the same mustache that he had when he said that in the movie. Just thinking out loud. Tony in the house. Good to see you. KO first. You know, you write first all the time, and then when Ecamm loads, you are not first. Either you're lying or Ecamm's lying, and I don't know who it is. 2 minutes, and then party time. There you go. You know, I was almost on time. I did look at my phone at one point, and it was 8:15. I was like, oh, I can do this. But had to get our drink for tonight, which is actually, you know, in honor of Anthony because he loves pumpkin spice things. We have the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. And then the backup will be Shipyard. After that, sadly, no cinnamon rim. But happy to say that it's finally like fall weather outside today. So I don't know about you guys, but up here in the great state of Massachusetts, it was in like the 40s, like for most of the morning, got into the 50s, but like the low 50s, and then it just like felt like it dived. So after all the complaining last week about 90-degree days, it all turned right around. Rick James, Dave's Dimension in the house. Happy belated birthday. Good to see you. Ultra Carta in the house. Happy belated birthday to you too. Good to see ya. 22. This is war. That's for damn sure. 22 was a war. What time are you thinking of starting tonight? I was close. 8:18 was what it said on my monitor when I hit live. So I was pretty close. Patrick in the house. Good to see you. Do you know who he is? It's Vigo. Of course, as Patrick says, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Steve in the house. Good to see you. Frankie Adams in the house. Good to see you. Yes. Make sure you guys check out the video that dropped today. Sadly, I did not get a chance to finish the video for tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best tomorrow to edit a video. But check out the one I dropped today. It is actually the various clips of me hanging out with Ghostbusters over at New York Comic Con. Now, sadly, I'm just going to pull this up real quick. I did not get a chance to hit up the New York Ghostbuster table. I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. Didn't get a chance to happen. But at first, we met up with Stance, fresh in the vent, fresh off the bar. Stance was right there, showing us his dope pack. Rocking the Ecto Ordnance Core. There you go. Love that. And then to Frankie's point, we met up with him as well. And that's got to be one of the coolest pack attenuators I've ever seen.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
So make sure you guys check out this video. I also like that I'm gonna say this about Ghostbuster fans in general. Usually, when something is made that's like personal to a Ghostbuster pack builder or cosplayer, there's a story to whatever is built that is like custom. And I like that for him. In his like headcanon, this was a possessed Game Boy that he was able to use with his proton pack to power the proton pack. Makes sounds, has lights, all sorts of cool stuff. So make sure you guys check out the video. Check out that pack walkthrough. German house. Good to see you. So for your birthday, you received WWE Elite Top Picks Braun Strowman, and will look awesome in picks facing off against the likes of John Cena, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk. There you go. Patrick saw the video. There you go. Went through some more pickups. Yep. There you go. If we can drop links to stuff, I'm literally on a podcast for an indie pro wrestling. Wow, yeah. Drop that in the chat if you can. I feel like you might not be able to. Let me see if I can correct that real quick. Don't mind me. Talks amongst yourselves. See, first of all, you guys did not call out the sexual Tyrannosaurus movie reference, but can you name the reference of talks amongst yourselves? The topic, Ghostbusters. Can you name that one? Is it possible? Is it possible? Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 boom, boom. All right. You should have a wrench, and I think you should be able to post a link. So if anything, hit refresh, see if you can do that. There you go. Predator. Let's go. Last Saturday, which is my father's birthday, from Ringside, I received my 3rd edition Ringside exclusive CM Punk, and we'll use the parts to convert Elite 121 CM Punk into an Ultimate. There you go. It's 81 in Florida, so yeah, it's fall. Love that. Game Changer World fan review pod on the official GCW YouTube, Tuesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, throw that link in the comments. Make sure you guys all give that a follow. Got Jamie in the house of the awesome, amazing Gen X-Wing podcast. This past week, they were actually talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was the topic. And I didn't get a chance to chat as much on the stream, even though I was listening. And what was funny about them talking about the environment of Ghostbusters Afterlife is that something came up that we've talked about here on the channel a bunch, which is New York City in Ghostbusters is kind of its own character. And this was a movie that was missing probably one of the most important characters. But they found a way to make it make sense. They made it make sense. Ghostbusters Afterlife, a.k.a. Ghostbusters The Force Awakens. I like the movie. I still like the movie a lot. And I've rewatched it quite a few times. In fact, I reviewed Ghostbusters Afterlife, or I should say I edited a review of Ghostbusters Afterlife before I'd even seen it. And that was back before I was Ghostbusters fan. And Senor Anthony, the Rambling Nerd, he actually had just started on the channel back when that movie came out. So he recorded a video, recorded a review, and then I put that review together for the channel. I don't remember if I did the B-roll. I think I did. No, I did. I remember I did the B-roll because I wasn't a Ghostbusters fan at that point. And I remember being like, okay, I found this picture of this reference. Is this correct? Is this the right idea? Is this from this actually the movie? And little did we know. But even though I reviewed it, and even though I knew the twists and Easter eggs and all that stuff, upon watching it, I still very much enjoyed it. So if anything, that speaks to the movie. Never. Hell yeah, NYCC. I hope you had a blast. Yep. One day you'll make it there. Yep. Last week was pretty dope, with the exception of Anthony breaking his pack. Yep. Coffee talk. Yeah, this is coffee talk. Talks amongst yourselves. There you go. Got that link in there as well. I can't click it here. Let me see if I can jump over. And with the screen share. There you go. Game Changer on GCW. Awesome. Love a good podcast. Make sure you guys give that a follow. Actually, here we go. Subscribe. Love that. I guess I got a lot of videos over here. Hell yeah. Love that. Well, yeah, I will be checking that out. I'll be checking that out for sure. Yeah. A lot of us, I think we know each other, at this point, because so many of you are faithful watchers and you're here every single week. But if you are somebody who's not here every week, or even if you are and you've never done it, like I said, I try to give you guys all wrenches so that way you can promote your stuff. If you got a YouTube channel, podcast, all that stuff, Instagram that you want to showcase like your work or whatever, throw it in the comments. Like that's what it's all about here. So I also say that because at some point somebody's going to ruin it. So you might as well take advantage of it. And if you have a new video that just dropped, you want to promote an upcoming series, and you want to throw a link in the chat or in the comments, feel free to do it. I feel like most of you have already followed each other, but if you haven't, that's your chance. So go ahead and do that. The good old days when Steve did everything. Yeah. Millennium in the house. Good to see you. And trust me, I do not miss those days. I am grateful to have Anthony helping out with content for sure. Everybody's saying hi to each other. I love that. We just do the review pod, LOL. That's the official FED YouTube. Oh, so did I get it? Did I do something wrong? Let's see. All right, so I saved the playlist. And hopefully use the review pod, LOL. That's the official. So is this, hang on, I'll show you guys once again what I was looking at. So is this correct? Is this the correct, like the link and everything? I even bookmarked it. We're just fans on the company's page or company's channel. What do you mean? Wait, so no, so I imagine that's correct. I clicked on that. That's the channel, but you guys are fans of GCW. Right? I think I'm getting it right. Let me know. We do the official fan review podcast, broadcast it on their channel. Got it. I'm a little slow sometimes. Got to bear with me. So, speaking of, podcast and recording and all that stuff, I covered a topic on today's Daily Planet, which I've been trying to put out daily. I've been trying to do better. I feel like we get at least three episodes out a week. And then you have this as well. So I'm talking to you 4 times a week at least. I mentioned something, and I would love your guys' feedback on it. Need help? How to should I drop next? Broski, Guyver, or Cat Bane? Guyver. Oh, Bosk. I said Broski. I thought maybe it was a typo, and I assumed you were trying to say Broski, but you meant Bosk. Yeah, Guyver. Totally. So on today's episode, I was Dada Films in the house. I keep getting distracted by the chat. So on today's episode of Daily Planet, I covered the topic of topics. And I am curious to hear what you guys have to say. So I feel like, this channel and for some of you, we all get into like the nerd space covering a specific thing, right? So Frankie, you do your wrestling. We used to do TV and movies. Anthony was kind of doing the comic books on the channel. So I feel like we all come in doing like a specific, topic. But I feel like as time has gone on, that has changed. Like the nerd space is no longer specific to just like TV and movie. It's kind of expanded. So what I've struggled with is as we grow the channel and as we've talked about various things, we've really scaled back a lot on covering TV and movies, comic books for sure. I mean, we haven't done a comic book video, and by we, I mean Anthony, in months. At least I don't think. But I haven't really covered and done a dedicated like TV review or movie review on this channel in forever. And I'm wondering if any of you still watch and listen to podcasts that specifically cover TV and movies. Like, is that still something that is watched? Because I don't really watch that content as much anymore. And don't get me wrong, we're Hollywood technically is in its own recession. So that's a whole separate issue. But like, we don't have new Star Wars to talk about. We don't have new Ghostbusters to talk about. We just finished Peacemaker. And then we don't have new DC until next year. So there's nothing really that I'm like excited to like come every week and talk to you about in that realm. There's shows I like to watch, but I remember like waking up in the morning, watching WandaVision, writing some notes down, and then the second the episode was done, rush to the computer, turn on the camera, start recording my review. I don't really do that anymore. So I'm curious to see if you guys and gals do still consume that kind of content, and like what channels do you watch for that stuff? Or do you feel like you are mainly watching almost like a nerd variety content? Like, are you watching channels that cover, tabletop and something else, but like all of it is not the traditional media. It's not traditional TV and movies. Curious to see what you guys think. Because I have no issue talking about what I talk about on the channel. I think you guys like hearing what I talk about, but I don't want to be dismissive of those that came, before, we'll say 2021, when I started going heavy on toy hunting, for them to be like, there's nothing here for me anymore. I don't want that to be an issue. So yeah, if you guys do watch that kind of content, let me know. If you'd like to see more of that on this channel, let me know. I guess if you guys did want more movie reviews, I'd have to really drag my butt and get to the theaters more often. But I don't know. I rather like, especially with movies coming out on Thursday nights, you know, and you want to get the first review. Like, I'd rather hang out with you guys here on stream than go to the movie theater on Thursday night, to be honest. And what's wild, this isn't shade at anybody. This isn't shade at anybody. I've seen like clips and shorts and videos and lives of people actually now interviewing like movie stars or actors and actresses that are in a movie. Stars, I guess, is relevant or relative to whatever you would consider a star, but I've seen people doing a lot of actor and actress reviews, and the views are not like crazy. Like a review of like an action figure is getting more views than this person talking about this role or whatnot. So I don't know. I like I said, this isn't any kind of like, oh man, what are we going to do as a channel? Like, it's not that. I just want to make sure we're covering all the bases, and that we're covering the bases that all of you like to consume. So I'm sure once Sal's kids are older, then he'll be able to come back on and do more, even like tabletop content and talk about that kind of stuff. That's his wheelhouse, not mine. Anthony was saying how the apps are so delayed now. Like, was that me? No, the sound was. As the apps change, as Anthony gets more free time, because he also has, work stuff that he's dealing with in a good way, he'll start doing comic book reviews again. But like, if you guys don't really like care about that kind of stuff, I don't know. Let me know. Frankie says the death of linear TV plays into that. Not everyone watches those shows on release day anymore, so it's tough to drop the first review vid if not everyone has seen it. That's a very good point. One of the problems that you have as a creator is, and this is for those of you who may not create, most of you here do, but for those who don't, there's like, because of the internet, great album, there's a real dilemma you run into. On the one hand, if you watch a show when it first comes out, movie when it first comes out, you want to catch the algorithm as it's, pushing that content. But then on the other hand, you're like, I don't want to spoil it, but the spoilers are what is getting pushed in the algorithm, like talking about things that happened in that show or movie or whatever. So you kind of get stuck on like, all right, I want to cover it, but like, can I not talk about like the best part? Like, can I not talk about the big reveal? Like which way do I go here? I believe in a 1 week rule when it comes to TV, but I'm becoming very old school in that sense. I'm becoming a dinosaur in that sense. I mean, hell, God, what was it? I mean, I always go back to Deadpool and Wolverine. At this point, if you haven't seen it, it's been a while. But before I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, it was spoiled to me that like Channing Tatum was in it, and it was spoiled to me that Wesley Snipes was in it by both actors respectively posting about it. So I got mad at the big outlets, but even the actors were spoiling it. There was something the other day with Peacemaker, and John Cena posted a spoiler, and it was like 24 hours later after it came out. So it's like, give people a chance. But then at the same time, if you don't cover it, you don't talk about it, you get lost in the algorithm. To the point about linear TV also, and what I was talking about in Daily Planet today, our attention spans for a lot of this stuff is so small now because of short form content. Like, think about it. Like, we're done with DC right now. Like, we're done with Peacemaker right now. It's very similar to combat sports. There's a lot of talking about the fight going up to the fight. The fight happens on a Saturday. Monday morning, they give you some results and some news from it in case you like missed out because they were building up to it. And the second Tuesday hits, that is old news. Nobody cares anymore. I feel like that's how it's become with a lot of these TV shows and movies. We're hyped up leading into it. We get somewhat hyped on some of these trailers, but then after a while, it's like, again, loved Peacemaker every single week. Last episode, trash. Don't want to talk about it. But I'm also done talking about Peacemaker. I'm ready for the next. I think I end up watching summaries of shows and I watch to compare opinions. Yeah. So, I don't know. I was thinking about it this morning. It came up randomly. Partially it came up because of a couple of videos that dropped. You guys are on the move. There were a couple of videos that dropped over the last couple of days. And I was like, oh, we're still talking about that? Like, we're still talking about Rise of Skywalker? I hated that movie. We all hated the movie. The movie came out like 3 years ago. Like, how are we still talking about this movie? That kind of thing. So I'm like, if that's all there is to talk about in Star Wars right now, there's a problem. Is the problem us or is the problem them? That's a conversation you could have. Marvel. Right now, freaking isn't The Boys currently isn't Gen V currently going? Yeah. 8 episodes into season 2. I haven't seen anybody talk about it. And it's not even because it's a shitty show. I liked the first season. The Boys is great. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's still, a market for covering that kind of stuff. Fuck the Rise of Skywalker, aka the Rise of Shitwalker. There you go. But yeah, I'm curious. I sent the guys a clip today, and I want to get your thoughts on if you agree or if you disagree with this. So hang on. So this is from the podcast, the Escape Pod. And I actually went on a good streak of watching their show. They do crazy numbers, which makes me think there's still room for people in the space. Like, there's still a desire. I'm trying to resize this one screen and it's just not happening. I moved the wrong thing. Ecamm. Stop being Ecamm for like a second. Anyway, whatever. Seeing their numbers, I'm like, all right, there's still a demand out there for people talking about these TV shows and movies. But I don't see those kinds of numbers on a lot of other channels. And I haven't seen that many podcasts come across my feed, because the algorithm knows what I like to watch. So whenever all the nerdy stuff comes through, I'm like, all right, cool, like it, keep going. But like, their numbers are crazy high compared to everybody else. But I'm curious to see what you guys' thoughts are on this take. If I can get some sound.
There's so many changes that they make in the MCU that I don't like because you're taking something away from a comics character that I like, and it's bad.
Name one.
The Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Oh no, I love the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Why?
I think, this is first of all, you're not a fan of the Mandarin. No one's a fan of the Mandarin in the comics. Name one Mandarin comic you've read.
Sure.
Right.
You don't think building him up as this big bad and
No, because
everything
that's
like
the
that?
point of the movie. Like, the whole point of the movie is the propaganda and the white guy using a person of color as a fear-mongering source while he's actually the one causing all the terrorism. I think that is brilliant. I'm a big defender of Iron Man 3. It has its problems, for sure. But, like, I think the central concept of the racist villain, which is what he is in the comics that no one's ever read, is, in fact, a racist caricature in the lore of this movie, is smart.
Alright.
Now, they also, to be fair, do make the Mandarin a good character in Shang-Chi later.
Yes.
So, like, that was, I guess, an option. You could have just made him good to begin with, but it took him a long time to get around to that one.
Now, similar to my thoughts on current modern Star Wars, I feel like so many of us hate Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, a bunch of the MCU movies. But there's a generation that grew up on those movies and they actually think that they're good. Not up to me to say whether that guy is correct or wrong on Iron Man 3, because that's his truth. But that's crazy. It's a crazy concept to me that somebody would say actually like Iron Man 3. But what he is right about, and I'm curious to see, what are your guys' thoughts on the Mandarin so far? Mandarin's coming back in Wonder Man, right? So we have Wonder Man coming out. It's going to be his third outing, Sir Ben Kingsley as the character, Mandarin. But we're getting the that Wonder Man show. Does it bother you or does it not bother you when they change characters from the comics into live action or even animated? Does it bother you? Because I feel like, to me, I'm supposed to be bothered by it. Like, I'm supposed to be like, oh, that's not my version. But then, to the guy's point, you know, I couldn't tell you much about the Mandarin. Like, there's so many like comic characters that, like, yeah, they were great in the books and I want them to be a certain way, but like, does it really matter anymore? Like, I don't know. I feel like we've been conditioned as nerds to be like, oh, that's not like blank source material. But then, like, does it really matter at a certain point? Because apparently the youth don't care. Like, does it actually matter to you? Patrick says, I too simp for Iron Man. Dave said the Mandarin was a screw job. I wasn't crazy about it, but I rolled with it. Here's the other thing too. I did not like Shang-Chi. I really wanted to like it. I really did. Really did. Did not care for it. And we're getting the new one, or he's coming back in Secret Wars. Is that the first one? He's coming back in that. He's confirmed he'll be back soon. But didn't care for the movie. Didn't care for the movie. Did you see that Sigourney Weaver is up for another Alien? I did see that. Good to see God Convoy Prime. I saw that. She was talking about that at New York Comic Con. I don't know. I feel like I mean, at this point, it's a paycheck, right? Like that, we can all agree that's what's going on there. It's a paycheck. But that's what I mean with so many of these like franchises, you know, like it's turned into that, where it's just a paycheck. But then, does it matter? Like, does it matter? Like, as long as we're entertained for a little bit, so be it. Tron Ares right now, it's not doing so hot. Dave said it was actually good. I don't even feel like giving it a chance. You know? But for Jared Leto, it's a paycheck. For Jeff Bridges, right? Jeff Bridges? Was that the dude? No. Yeah. Damn, he's 75. That's crazy. You know, him coming back, it's a paycheck. It's a paycheck. Did he need to come back for that? Did they even need to make that movie? I do like, though, that for Jeff Bridges, they have actor, singer, producer, and photographer. He does love some photography. Don't know if a lot of people knew that. I'll try to stay on topic. I've been jumping a bunch. But yeah, let me know about the comic book thing if it needs to be relevant. Going to the alien thing. I still don't know why they can't just erase Alien 3 from the timeline. I mean, it's not like reality will break if it is. But wouldn't you have to also erase Alien Resurrection if you erase Alien 3? Because I believe they said they got her DNA from the prison on Alien 3. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I watched Resurrection. The soft reboot thing, the soft reboot sequel type formula, I'm not completely opposed to it. For the first of the new Halloween movies, I actually thought it worked out well. Like, I was good with that. For Prey, I thought Prey worked as that. I thought Alien Romulus could work for that. They end up kind of changing that up with Alien Earth not being canon, but I'm all right with a soft reboot sequel type of thing. But I don't need Ripley anymore at this point. Now, if she wanted to, if they want to explore, it doesn't work. I was gonna say if they want to explore some like animated Ripley stories of her doing science things, but again, their lives are pretty boring outside of whenever an alien's introduced into the formula. And I'm also really good with the concept that a lot of franchises, although I say that and there's no factual truth to it, I don't think, or I can't prove it. I immediately am thinking of Star Trek. I'm thinking of Predator. I'm thinking of, I guess at this point, by numbers, Alien. I like the idea that they're not doing the Star Wars thing where it's always centered around one group. Like, I like the fact that in the Alien universe, the Whale Incorporation is a focal point in everything, but it's not like one specific person. There's no Palpatine, but then there's also no Skywalker going on with Alien. I like that that's a thing. So bringing her back, I'm like, I don't want them to go down that road. I mean, think about it. What if Terminator had never gone that road? What if Terminator, after T2, kind of skipped the T3, we're going back to John Connor, and either went with the Salvation route, where the Christian Bale movie, or went straight to whatever the last one was, where it's like, okay, we acknowledge that John Connor is gone, Sarah Connor's gone, or she was still there, but John Connor's gone, and because of the way that Destiny works, there always has to be a John Connor, even if it's not the John Connor, I wonder if that would have helped things out. So right now, I think the Alien franchise is like on a good resurgence, and I don't think her coming back is going to I don't think it's necessary. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Unless they figure out a way to do it. To be fair, Tron Ares doesn't even have any of the OG actors except for cameos. But even then, too, hasn't Tron always been about the Jeff Bridges character and his son, and always going back to Jeff Bridges? I enjoy the MCU's content, but I wasn't invested in the books enough to know better. For me, a cliche thing I would say was, it's not like the comic books, but it wasn't even like I read all the comic books. I'd watched tons of videos like Comic Books Explained, but I also watched all the cartoons. So a lot of my that's not accurate was based off either cartoons or stories that I, for the most part, understood from YouTube videos of people talking about those stories. AKA, I was a fake fan. But those are my versions. You know what? You know what's crazy? First of all, I don't know if you guys noticed that kid in the video was wearing like a Wolverine hoodie. It was the orange suit. Let me pull that up real quick. I didn't catch it on my first viewing, but I caught it on this one. See the brown and orange, and then there's the claws on his left hand on the sleeve. There's like claws there. But it's wild to me whenever people are like, "Oh, brown suit Wolverine's my Wolverine, not yellow," and I'm like, animated series Wolverine is not your Wolverine. Are you high? The only other acceptable answer for that's my Wolverine would be Hugh Jackman. If you're like Hugh Jackman's my Wolverine over yellow suit, I'd be like, okay, I'll see that. But whenever somebody's like brown suit is my Wolverine, fuck out of here. Yeah, out of here. Refused to watch Tron Ares because of Jared Leto, as he cost and robbed so many underrated actors like Alan Richardson and Andrew Garfield when they have more talent than Leto himself. What movies did he rob them of? I didn't know that. I'm not doubting that. And are they going to lose money? Is that in reference to Ultra's comment? How many Halloween splinter timelines are there? People don't care. Yeah, people just kind of go watch it. I loved Halloween Ends. Which one was that? Was that the last of the remakes? It was, yeah. Very controversial film. Very controversial. Not because I saw it. Like I said, I liked the first of this trilogy. The second of the trilogy, I thought it was interesting. I didn't have major issues with it. I remember I watched it piecemeal. I was like, one day I watched a couple hours and then, watch a couple minutes. Next day I watched maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Then the next day after that, another 20, 15 minutes. I remember that's how I watched it. And I liked the idea of the town coming together against him. Unless that's Halloween Ends and I'm mixing them up. I thought it was the second one. I don't think I watched this one. I don't think. Well, Star Wars stopped being about the Skywalkers. I mean, they retitled it the Skywalker Saga. Stop being about Star Wars. I mean, they retitled it. Did they retitle it? I feel like the only non-Skywalker stories we've seen are the recent like Andor series, which then is kind of tied to Rogue One and The Acolyte. Everything else is there's still ties to Skywalker stuff, and it's still within the time period of the Skywalker saga. K-Walk Comedy in the house. Good to see you, Kathy. Make sure you guys check out Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. It's out of pride. Getting 9 Inch Nails for Tron movies, like getting 2 Live Crew for a Godzilla movie. I like that. Massive generalization. Any franchise that has an interesting organization is better suited for a soft reboot EU. Stories about individual people die much quicker. No, in regards to rebooting from Aliens. Oh. I don't know. Jaws eventually wasn't about the one group, but I mean, you could say it was terrible after that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe more movies need to pull a Chronicles of Narnia, where you got like your group, and then when you go to the next movie, some people fall out, some characters remain, new people come in. And then when you go to the next one, the older group falls out, new people come in, next one. And then, like maybe we need more of that in some of these. And then when you have some sort of like end game event, you bring back the old characters and it's like, like maybe that's all it would take. But you still need one common thread to keep them together. And I don't know what that would be. And hell, maybe the Skywalker stuff, like the Skywalker saga, maybe if Disney kept doing these stories that were within the universe that didn't have Vader and everything, didn't have Palpatine and everything, maybe those would work. Like think about Clone Wars. Clone Wars worked and Anakin wasn't even in most of the episodes. So I don't know. I don't know. It's not just Alan Richardson and Andrew Garfield, Jared Leto, Cost, and robbed. It's other underrated actors as well. They all deserve love and recognition more than Leto. Yeah, you really hate the Acolyte. Jared wouldn't be in any of the picks for Tron, but I can't call the movie bad till I can sit down and throw popcorn at it myself. Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm not saying it's bad because I haven't seen it. I'm saying it's not doing well. I'm saying it's tanking. Not because of my review, just off box office numbers. The only people I know that have seen the movie said it wasn't that bad. But do most people care about Tron? I don't think so. I think the total addressable market when it comes to Tron is so small. So small. And we might as well look at it. We might as well roll into that shit. The Tron HasLab is currently 964. Goal of 10,000. I know somebody here is working on something cool related to this, so I'm not going to put them on blast. But, what are we doing? What are we doing? Tron is just so niche. It is so niche. It has no business being a HasLab. Not unless all of this lit up, the characters lit up, the light cycles lit up. That would be the only reason. And I would say as a casual, there's no reason for it to be a blue and yellow cycle. Shouldn't it be red? Like when I think of the light cycles, I think blue and red. I could be wrong. Tron light cycle. I guess yellow was a thing. Orange, green, red. Yeah. Mistake. Anytime I think of Tron, you know what I think of? Over on the Tested channel, Adam Savage Tested. Norman Chan and a couple of the other guys used to have their own podcast on Tested called This Is Only a Test. And they were, to me, like the offshoot of, even though they weren't related to it, they were the offshoot of like the screensavers. Like This Is Only a Test and the screensavers, if you told me they were the same universe in podcast universes, I would say yes. Like back in the day, screensavers would have an entire segment on, if for those of you who don't remember, the Screensavers was a podcast, or this was before podcast. The Screensavers was a show on Tech TV before Tech TV turned into G4 TV. And it was like uber nerdy when it comes to computer stuff. Like they did entire segments on Linux and the latest Windows update, like shit like that. This Is Only a Test. They were super nerdy on things like 3D printing before 3D printing was easy to do. Super nerdy on pinball machines. Entire 30-minute segment of the podcast talking about pinball. When I think of Tron, I think of those groups of people. Like that segment of the nerd community, which I don't hate. I don't hate that segment of the nerd community, but that's a very small portion of the nerd community. So the type of community that will be excited about a Tron HasLab, they're probably spending money on, the latest pinball machine and building their new PC for the billionth time. They're not looking at a Tron HasLab. Maybe if you were like, oh, there's a Tron ring thing, they buy that. Or, when they buy like $1,000 Star Trek phaser that's show accurate. But like plastic toys, they're not buying that. That group is not doing that. Could be wrong. You're literally describing Michael Bay Transformers, Narnia. Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. Tron Ares was enjoyable and fun. It's Disney not promoting it. It's a small IP from 82, which had a sequel in 2010. Archer, check your IG. I sent you a pic. Okay, so Dave is who I was talking about. I didn't want to put Dave on blast. I didn't think it was going to be good either, box office wise. It definitely is a nostalgia bait. It definitely isn't the nostalgia bait they thought it was. Last geek model behavior after the HasLab reveal, and I quote, Tron is an amazing franchise for people who haven't felt the touch of a lady yet. I feel like it's destined to fail. The HasLab funds will be, did you mean to say refunded? So there's some Tron Legacy figures I saw to complement the original Tron stuff, but I was told they won't be a HasLab. Yes, so there are Tron figures coming out, not related to the HasLab. That is correct. And Dave, did you message me? Can you message me on Nerd Affiliated, Dave? The pictures? Let me know when you do. Yeah, I would buy Tron figures separately, but I grew up on it. Yeah, it's super niche. I mean, like Ghostbusters is super niche. For us, we talk about it all the time. Not that big a deal. But in the grand scheme, Ghostbusters is very, very niche. So, yeah, I know. I know. Ghostbusters is niche, but it's big enough to survive, right? Tron is barely there. Tron's only surviving because of Disney. That's about it. Let me see if I can pull up my other browser, because I only had Nerd Affiliated logged in. Here we go. Here we go. Got it. Got it. And take this one too. All right. So Dave is currently doing his own HasLab. He found these print files, Tron themed display base, large, with LED option. And Dave has printed out some light cycles and this LED base. So it's like, we talked about this a couple months ago, where I was saying, if the toy industry and the toy companies are not talking about how can we sell licenses for you to print at home, they should be. Not because I'm trying to ruin the industry, but I think the future is, instead of me going to the store, I just print it at home. Especially when I see something like this. So like, hell, somebody might go print a bunch of these, go to like some random Comic Cons, start selling them. That takes away your market. It takes away your HasLab market. Because it's the same thing. Same thing. Man collects in house. Good to see you. Too many IGs, yeah. Ghostbusters is niche, but has had multiple films and TV shows through multiple generations. For sure. But here's the thing. The Ghostbusters fan base, it's big enough to survive. It's big enough to get through another Halloween. And it's a recognizable enough logo and cosplay that people continue to buy it even if they're casual. They don't go nearly as far as that. But they know the logo. They're like, oh, I want to be a Ghostbuster. If you're like, all right, which character are you? They're like, the Bill Murray character. Name me another one. I don't know, the black guy. Like that's where Ghostbusters is. Tron's even lower than that. If Tron had a cosplay scene like Ghostbusters, maybe. And here's the thing. I think it would kill it. I think if a company came out and found the way to make light up Tron cosplay, it could help. But it has to be cheap enough that people want to just get it just cause, And I think with the last Tron movie, who was that? Daft Punk? Like Daft Punk was like popping off when Tron Legacy came out. So it made sense as far as a collaboration goes. 9 Inch Nails at this point, you're not getting any kids to go see that movie. Our age group is going to see that movie. But you need somebody, you need some sort of electronic artist in that's appealing to 20-year-olds. If you want to try to get that cross promotion and like, hey kids, want a skateboard? Watch this, like they're not no 20-year-olds like, oh, I can't wait to see the 9 Inch Nails music video for the Tron movie. Yeah, that's not happening. So it seems like none of you hated the movie. Did it at least visually look good? Like, did we think that the Tron movie, like Tron Ares, like, did it look decent? And you have no idea how little this cost me to make. You would freak out. Yeah. Legacy was that movie. It was. And Daft Punk at that point, it's one of those scenarios where I was into Tron Legacy because of the music and that was when synthwave was really starting to pop off. Like I was into Tron Legacy and had attempted multiple times to rewatch Tron, the first one, and just like couldn't do it. And people kept saying, "Oh man, Tron's the best. Tron's the best." And I'm like, I can't see it. I don't understand. I hate this movie. And with Legacy, I tried to watch it. I couldn't tell you anything about it outside of a recap I saw the other day. But I remember how I felt listening to the music. I remember how cool it looked, and to Dave's point earlier, I remember how cool the advertising was for it. But I just 9 Inch Nails season film score at this point. I mean, hey, is it as 9 Inch Nails though? Is where they messed up. I just, like I said, our age demographic knows them, knows him, and that's it. But Tron hasn't been kicking off like that over the last couple of years for people to just randomly be like, I'm going to go see the movie. But if they want to get that music tie to it and get that music pull, Jared Leto's certainly not going to be the guy who's going to get you that pull. And 9 Inch Nails is not going to do it either. If you want to go old school with somebody, I was watching him I used it today to promote the show. I would have got Limp Bizkit to do soundtrack to Tron. Imagine Limp Bizkit does a soundtrack to Tron. And it's just all old Limp Bizkit shit. Imagine freaking rolling. They pull out the Fast and Furious card. Keep rolling. And then Jared Leto's like on the fucking light cycle going down the road. Be sick. I'd watch that. General Kenobi. Man collects. Good to see all of you. The OG Tron gave me a seizure. I believe that. What's the wire contraption behind you? That is that. Wow. I would have thought Melissa was a bot, but based on this, specific question there, I'm gonna say you're not a bot. So, welcome to the stream. That is my full-size Spirit Halloween Proton Pack. Love it. Want more of them. So, it's funny. We talked about how I'm not excited for any TV and movie for about 30 minutes. And yet here it is. We talked about TV and movie for like the last 45 minutes. That was the best part of Devil May Cry was the music. I mean, back in the day, cliche thing to say, but back in the day, like in the late 90s to 2000s, like you would get excited off stuff with no even like trailer. It'd be like the music and the visual. Like Dante from Devil May Cry, I didn't play one look of that game, and I thought he was the coolest guy. Just like the character art. I remember hearing like some of the music. Like, I didn't need no trailer. The dude was just sitting there with a massive sword and like dual wielding guns and shit. Sick. But let's look at one other thing on the toy side before we start wrapping today's episode. So we had a couple announcements, a couple drops today. Nothing too crazy. This one actually surprised me because they're using the starting lineup body on this G.I. Joe figure. And we just finished getting through people shitting on the Gambit torso that uses the same torso. So I was like kind of surprised that they went for it. But what's been a little annoying with me with Hasbro, I'm seeing it right here, is a lack of matching hands with a lot of the new releases. If the character has a weapon, you'll get two hands to hold the weapons if there's dual wielding going on. Like Daredevil has the two billy clubs. Bradley here has two trigger hands. That all makes sense. But then you're also giving me one like open hand and then the other hand's on the ball. Again, the same one as the Gambit. But like there's no matching open hand for his left hand. That's on the ball technically. The Daredevil and the Punisher both come with a fist. They don't have matching fists. Annoying. So I don't know what Hasbro's deal is with that. But what I wanted to go over. See, here it is right there. Like people hate this torso. I understand why. I wanted this 2-pack. I wanted this 2-pack just because I wanted it to succeed. Not even because I really wanted these versions. I just wanted this to like prove that we should get some like out of costume in civilian clothes X-Men figures. But then when I saw it posed, I was like, that ain't it, cuz. That ain't it. Oh, look at that. Juggernaut's in stock. I thought he was sold out everywhere. Juggy is in stock. Sal actually picked him up. And he's loving it. He's loving it. Gone. I have faith that's going to come back. I have faith. But this is what I wanted to show here. I don't know if we talked about it last week. I think we did. But they announced Apocalypse. And this guy But this guy, I'm telling you, do it. Great in person. Absolutely amazing in person. Will go well with the Cable figure, which Cable seems to be kind of easy-ish to get. So if you have a very limited space or very limited X-Men display, this Apocalypse with Cable would go great. I did see something I was really excited. I was really excited about. So if you notice, whenever they talk about X-Men, Hasbro specifically, they're always talking specifically about X-Men 97. And even when the like Disney talks about the show, they're always specifically talking about X-Men 97. And I feel like there's some sort of thing where it's a Star Wars issue of like, oh, we don't want to talk about the OT because we only have a license for the new stuff, or we have to pay royalties for the old stuff. I feel like there's something similar happening here where they only want to do, and they can only do X-Men 97 designs. They can't really do 93 X-Men designs. So with Apocalypse, if you listen to all the streams when they talk about Apocalypse, they always say, yeah, we only saw Apocalypse for like this little bit of the show, and we only saw Apocalypse in the intro, but that was enough to make sure we need to make him. They kind of ignore the fact that you got entire arcs about this dude in the OG show. So the reason I mentioned that was actually, let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find this. Can I open Threads? I can. Where was it? There was a picture I saw, and I was like, that's it. It wasn't Danyon. Somebody shared a trailer to X-Men 97 Season 2. And in that trailer, they showed Bishop and how Bishop's like, we have to get the X-Men from different timelines. I've got to go save them, take them back to 93 or 94, whatever he said. But in there's a version of Bishop that has the Jerry curls, that has the mohawk, that has the long hair. And I was like, if they get long hair Bishop in X-Men 97, that's the green light to make a Bishop long hair for the X-Men 97 line. Because that was the one thing I was pissed off about. I love my Bishop figure from 97. I have him downstairs. The second I saw him, I picked him up. Actually, here, I'll show you Dan's photos here. Like, Bishop's dope. Love it. But it's not my Bishop. I need the long hair Bishop. And when I saw him in the trailer, even though that trailer was a leak, they showed it at Comic-Con, they haven't officially released it. I was like, if long hair Bishop makes it into 97, that means we're gonna get long hair Bishop the toy. We need that version. I don't care if they use the same buck. It could be the same exact version. I'm cool with it. Just need the freaking. He better have the fucking harmonica intro too when he comes out in the show. Like, wah, 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 like, oh. Need that version. Need that version. So, this show goes down in history as the number one reason why you guys should not be watching any of these bullshit content creators who call every show woke before it comes out and tells you the show is trash before it comes out. Like, this show should be Exhibit A. And I talked about it on this stream before. The amount of people who shit on this show before it came out, when they saw Morph, it's woke, and then they saw that Bo DeMeo was doing it. And they're like, oh, look at this guy. Like, everything's going to be gay. This is gay, blah, blah, blah. And look at the show we got. It took so much heat going into it. They didn't even put out enough toys. They're like, we had no clue it was going to pop off like it did. Because it was fucking amazing. It was amazing. So, all I'm saying is, if there's a show or a movie or whatever, if you want to watch it, go watch it. Judge it for yourself. Like I said, I have no desire to watch Tron Ares. Everybody I know who saw it says they liked it. Not for me. And it's not doing well. It's bombing. That's not me saying it's a bad movie. It's not me telling you don't watch it because it's woke. None of that stuff. I haven't seen it. I can't tell you how to watch it or what to think. But this is one of those shows that I'm like, anytime a content creator tells you don't watch something, it's woke trash, and they haven't even seen it, unsubscribe. Not for you. Not for you. Yep. Give me Bishop his epic mullet, damn it. Yep. Bishop and Cable are my favorite from this timeline. And Bishop, not even my OG look. Mm-hmm. Harmonica in hand, hell yes. Yeah. Great. That'd be great. But yeah, shout out to the Marvel Legends team. Shout out to Hasbro. I'm a Hasbro stan. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'll tell you why. In case somebody hasn't watched the Daily Planet episodes. The same could probably go for some of the other ones. Like it could probably go for Super 7. It could probably go for NECA. I've met teams on both. But like the amount of trash that the Hasbro team has to deal with, the marketing team has to deal with on a regular basis, and they still continue to show up at these events, still continue to do the live streams. And then when you see like I've watched content creators that have bashed, looking at you, Iron Ken. I've seen Uncle Tim. I've watched endless videos of them bashing Hasbro, bashing G.I. Joe Classifieds. But every time a figure has dropped this year and they've got their hands on those figures, they've been like, yo, this figure's good. Marvel Legends has been killing it this year. Killing it this year. Even despite the tariff stuff. Yes, the prices have gone up. Yes, we get a little bit less accessories. That's not their fault. That's not their fault. But we have to admit that this year, as far as the nostalgia hits, look at this Mysterio. Not a cloth cape. I feel some type of way about that. But at least you're that much closer to finishing your Sinister Six. With an animated look, Mysterio. You know, you got a couple of these BS releases in there. Do you need them? Probably not. But you can at least admit they look good. You can at least admit this one looks good. Did you need it? Probably not. Looks good though. Pinless. Pinless. 6-arm Spidey. So. Glitch Lab in the house. Been a while. Good to see you. Can always make your own capes. There you go. As much as I dog on Hasbro at times, they are always boots on the ground. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know, for me, it was the first Ghostbusters day. The first Ghostbusters day I went to, and Dave was there. Dave got me the exclusive. Just gonna pull this bish up, and I was like, "You didn't even have to be here, sir." You didn't even have to be here. So this was Ghostbusters Day 2024. The Hasbro team came down from Rhode Island in one vehicle, like 5 bodies, one vehicle, Rhode Island, all the way down to downtown Manhattan with the HasLab pack and with the 2 in the box. 2 in the box had long been closed. They couldn't even take your money on this if they wanted to. Still showed up. Just to show you in hand, new electronics, let you touch it, let you hold it, let you see the patches. They did all that stuff. Didn't have to do it. And at that point, I was like, you win. I was like, you win. I'm also mad at myself because I haven't gotten as good of footage in a long time. The video quality on this one was really good. I'm like, damn, how'd I do that? Damn, how'd I do that? I need to replicate that.
Of course, we'll also get the Ghostbuster Zedmore Engineering gear icon. Yep. You will get a classic Ghostbusters logo, and you will get the No Ghost logo, but with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man instead of Moogly.
I just gotta say, you're a saint for even just being here.
We're so happy to join you all here. It's been a fantastic day here for Ghostbusters Day. I can't wait for this to ship to you all, which should be happening this year. Not really, we're not really highlighting the electronics today. The physicals are fantastic and it is beautiful. You can absolutely hold it. Be careful, it's heavier than you think.
By the handle?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, it is. Okay.
Uh-huh. It's a great weight though, I will say.
Just fully trusting you to hold on to it. Freaking Emily opened the case for us and turned around. I was like, oh, you trusting us to not even take the figures out of here.
Despite it
good
being
people.
that heavy, I've had it on my hip.
If I didn't have a phone in my hand, I'd eject the cartridge.
Here, I can show you. Pull the trigger.
Oh my gosh.
Comes right
Can I
out.
just get a 360 of that cartridge?
Absolutely.
Guys, this is the upcoming HasLab that I purchased 100%. I love it. And an update video should be out sometime this week.
Sometime this week, yes.
I'll be in Washington, D.C., so I'll have time.
All right. I'd love to give you more
Dude,
info,
you're a
but I'm
man.
just an engineer.
Yeah.
Things like that are not.
And quickly, I'll show you one bit here, and then we'll wrap today's episode. But this was a good one. This was a fun episode. I like the twists and turns we took on this one here. The GB team's a great team, yeah. Yeah, true. They are pretty good at interacting with the fans. Mm-hmm. No, and I've, they've done so much work on the cosplay department side of things that when people like nitpick pieces of it and then they see it in person, they're just like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Including your boy. When I saw this freaking
Right there. It's worth it. Yeah. So I didn't get one yet. Hang on, let's switch this up real quick.
I'm telling you that I'm not gonna get it, but that his tank in person, that's impressive. Seeing all the unboxing videos and all the HasLab his tank videos, I was like, okay, yeah, I it's cool, I guess. But then seeing it in person, I was like, damn. And that kind of applies to all of these, especially the Ecto.
For their like crowdfunding thing, like
I didn't know if that had already been revealed, so that's why I held down on that. This thing's sexy. And that ribbon cable, I swear they keep working on it, because when I first saw it, I was not that impressed. On this viewing, I was like, it's not that bad. I still have my backup one. I think I'm still going to swap out for my backup one. but it looks really good.
But I was like, main stage. Oh.
Steve, talk to me about regrets. Regrets is right over there. Actually, now that I'm looking at this,
These two.
I want all three of them. I guess less more the Spider-Man, but these two are beautiful.
So the price point of $130 for the billy clubs and the masks, and then seeing the quality in person is pretty good.
I think the quality's slightly better than Wolverine. Slightly better, and especially like you said, it comes with these two pieces.
Yeah.
You didn't get any of these? Or did you get them? No?
I want to.
Is it still available?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in stock.
Question is,
I already did.
you got that?
Yeah.
I was telling Steve, he pointed it out. I didn't realize the Ecto was that big.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's an Ecto. That's an Ecto.
Yeah.
It's done, right? Like, it's not...
Yeah. But I don't
Yep.
think it is done. I don't think it's done.
You don't think it's done?
So, what I was saying earlier, obviously, was a HasLab. They brought it back, redone. HasLab, they just announced yesterday, brought it back, redone.
Okay.
So I'm like, if
they're gonna keep...
I don't know how they would do it because you're in the 1 and the 1A.
Right.
So I don't know how they could change it enough where it's different, like these are different.
Unless...
Oh, Emily, good to see you.
Unless they come
We're
out.
just living in regret.
Oh.
We all backed or pre-ordered.
Yep.
Not all of us backed,
Yep.
and now we're seeing it in person.
Yeah.
So I know you can't answer this question, but I'm gonna tell you my thought.
Okay.
That was a HasLab, but now it's back.
Yep.
Redone.
Yep.
That was a HasLab.
Yep.
Now it's back.
Yep.
You haven't announced yet if it's a HasLab or not.
It's not.
It's not. Okay. So I'm like, maybe this somehow. I don't know how because you're getting two versions in one.
The only thing I can think of is they bring it back.
So I was thinking about this some more after we wrapped filming this. And yeah, the price point on some of these, we can always argue should be lower. But then I was like, all right, let's use the Proton Pack for example. First of all, we have a team that has been going to events promoting this thing. Got to pay them. Might as well try to pay them out of the proceeds of the Proton Pack. Then we've got different iterations of this thing. Retool, prototype, retool, prototype, retool, prototype. So there's the team that does the packaging, the team that works in Asia to make sure that the physical packaging of assemblies, there's so many steps to this thing. It's not as simple as just a card back figure. So I was like, you know what? If I really start breaking this stuff down, I can see where they get to some of these crazy costs on these things. And once again, I don't think we've yet to hold a HasLab in hand, maybe with the exception of the Cantina. But I don't think we've ever had a HasLab in hand that we're like, this is severely overpriced. I don't think so. I have said I feel like a lot of the Ghostbusters stuff is underpriced, especially when I've held the two in the box. But I feel like some of these things, upon seeing the work going into them, I feel like they're priced pretty fair. Pretty fair. Now, to Dave's point, I've said it before on stream as well. Space is the issue. Right now, space is at a premium in all of our houses. So getting another vehicle, not really in the cards. But then you see stuff like that in person, you're like, damn, I wish. God said, I think it's worth the price, but that's just me. Where are you putting 3 Ectos on the driveway or talking one of the others? Tony said, I think for the Ghostbuster stuff, I feel like it's amazingly priced. God said, just the Proton Packs, my friend. It's all I need. Yeah. And of course, age-old question. How many proton packs is enough? The answer is there is no number. It's never enough. Never enough. But I appreciate you guys being here. You know, for the outro, we'll get back up. We'll move on up to the Upper East Side. If you can, make sure you guys check out the latest toy photography videos that I did, / unboxings. We did Punisher, we did Daredevil, and I got Cable back there. I'm going to unbox Cable, and I might actually unbox, you guys look at the exclusive. I might actually unbox my Apocalypse figure. He's been on card. I've had him for years, and I know we're getting the new one. But I don't know. I feel like unboxing that Apocalypse. I feel like doing it. So let me know. Hang on. I'll grab it. Yeah, so it's amazing. It's amazing. I want to photograph him with the Bishop figure, and I might have to unbox that Apocalypse for that photo shoot. So if you guys like that series, please, please, please. I'm not saying this for the cliched, you know, give us likes and stuff because of that, but I just really want to know if you guys like that stuff. And the other way I know if you guys are liking that content, because it's generally, the photography stuff generally gets lower views and everything else. So if it's at least getting decent interactions, like comments and likes, that'll be my green light. Like, okay, people do enjoy this. So if you want more of those, head over to those videos, drop a comment, drop a like, share with a friend, all that fun stuff. Man, it's so good. So good. Now, sorry, last thing. Still, as of October 16th, 2025, for as much as I'm loving the Marvel Legends releases this year, I'm still giving Figure of the Year to Storm Arena. As I rip things off. Storm Arena, Storm Collectibles. Whoa. Patrick, you gifted yourself a membership. I love that. I love that. Why is it like cut off though? I don't know why it's cut off on the side. Sorry. This is still my figure line of the year because of price point, quality, accessories, all of that. But Marvel Legends is pretty close. I just want you to know that the only reason why I want you to lose weight is so that you live longer. We need you, dude. Well, I appreciate that. I would like to lose weight too. Did my wife pay you $20 to write that? Patrick, keep gifting yourself memberships. Why is it cut off like that? You gifted one to Germ. Look at that. Appreciate that. Thank you. I think that's the first time we've ever had a gifted membership. So I appreciate that. But okay. But yeah, let me know, like I said, if you guys are enjoying those videos, you know, hit the like, hit the comments, do all that fun stuff over there. And yeah, the content will keep rolling. But like I said, also let me know about just like movies and TV reviews if you guys do want to see that stuff. Like I said, let me know. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Almost daily. We have the Daily Planet dropping here on the channel, so make sure you guys check that out as well. We currently have a couple of New York Comic Con videos out there. We have some more that we're working on. May not have one tomorrow, but I'll try to have a couple more for you guys next week. Anthony's also editing his videos, so we'll have those dropping on the channel. And then the cable video, I'll try to record that this weekend for a drop next week. Salem video coming next week. I'll be going to Salem this weekend for their Haunted Happenings event again. So that should be a good time. If you're going to be there, take pictures, tag us. If you're doing any kind of Halloween stuff, tag us so we can share it on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. We're out of here.
Specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Yeah, come on, push a button. Push a goddamn button.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.